Hey guys, it's Tom Box, and I've got one of your favorite YouTubers out here,
Cimo!
Don't forget to once per turn subscribe to get video in your feed. So we have Cimo here joining me on the commentary desk, and we have the most common meta match of the format, Salamangreats versus Danger Thunder Dragons.
Would you say this is the most common meta match? I don't know. Sky Striker is still pretty far up there, in my opinion.
That is true. A lot of people say Sky Striker is better than Salamangreat, and they can answer Salamangreat quite well because they are able to bait out their back row. So, okay, so on the left we have Vince, that guy Vince that you guys know, and on the right, that's actually me playing right there, what, Danger Thunder. And Vince is opening his play with Lady Debug. I don't have any hand traps, as most of these decks do not have hand traps. If you're playing Danger Thunder, you're just running all gas. So he's getting a Lady Debug for free, and he's going in right away into the Balinks.
Sure, and that's the thing too, like obviously Lady Debug is a lot weaker and more susceptible to a wider array of hand traps as opposed to the normal play like Spinny Gazelle. But I mean, you're playing Danger Thunder, your boards just get so insane and you can just extend through so much that like it kind of mitigates the fact that you need the hand traps.
That is true. I feel like I need to put some hand traps back in. I've sided into hand traps now because I feel like it's a necessity, but they do clog a lot. If your opponent like mind games you, chooses to go like, oh, they choose to go second, now you're going first, now you have a hand trap in there and it feels really awkward.
Sure, I mean, well, that's the thing, though. You have to think, the worst you're going to probably have to deal with going first against a Salamangreat deck is like a Roar and then potentially 1 or 2 hand traps in their hand. But the thing is, as Danger Thunder, stuff like Ash and Valor isn't too good. It's only really good against like maybe a Star Yugioh or a Summon Sorceress at best.
Yes.
But realistically, baiting 1 Roar is not that difficult for your deck to do, and not to mention you draw to a 6th card.
That is true.
I think it's kind of like a... It's a give and take kind of situation when it comes to the hand traps. I would just go full on with the gas, just play as many extenders as possible.
Sounds like solid advice. So he's gonna do the standard play of going into Sunlight Wolf. He's got his Mirage Stalio. He's gonna do the Reincarnation Link right here through the field spell. Everything seems all in order, and it gets his Jack Jaguar back out onto the field, pointed to the Sunlight Wolf, adds the card back, and of course he gets his Roar into his hand. So he has full setup. He has at least 1 counter trap. He has a handful of cards. I remember that this play leads to about like a +4. Everything on the board is...
Ooh, and the Desires.
So this is the part that I did not account for in this match. I'm like, oh, maybe I have Ash. No, I don't. I did see some of the recent YCS, not YCS, regional deck profiles that even in Danger Thunder they put in 2 Ashes in there just for like just a minor interruption.
And the thing is, when it comes to Salamangreat, Pot of Desires is a really nice call because it's very similar back to Zodiac format, where once you get your rats out of the deck, you're safe to Desires without having to worry about losing your combo pieces. And then you can get more cards, which are pretty much going to solidify your board or draw into more hand traps. So there's a lot of very similar philosophy. Yeah, right, the Max C.
Get that Max C.
Or the Dimensional Barrier, that too.
That is true too. The instant shut your turn down. So 4 back row and some hand traps perhaps, and I am looking at my hand. Okay,
that's a lot of back row for Salamangreat, I'm not gonna lie.
So I have 2 Thunder Dragons in hand, and I'm like, I gotta try and bait this stuff out. This is actually very difficult. On the game 1, of course, you don't have like all your most optimal options unless you expect these things to happen. So I can only actually fetch out 1 Thunder Dragon, so I'm not gonna get that additional card for Danger. And I don't even think I have a single copy of Danger Monsters in my hand, so I'm really just trying to bait things out, hopefully get into, say, I believe that there's a Chaos Dragon Legionnaire in the hand that can maybe try and get a pop. I think that that's going to be asking for a bit too much. So we're going. That
non-targeting effect though is very valuable because as soon as you drop the Legionnaire, if he's going to respond with anything, Legionnaire doesn't target. So if he does respond, you can pop 2 other cards with the effect, which is very it's very hard to play around a Legionnaire for that reason.
That is true. So I go ahead and do a tribute summon with the Thunder Dragon Roar. I think it's a pretty decent play based off of the hand that I have because I already activated a Thunder Dragon, I can just convert that into a Thunder Dragon Colossus. And Colossus, once it's on board, it feels so much safer because they rely on popping, and I'm immune to popping. And I'll get the extra Thunder Dragon body, so if I really want to extend it to links, I can do that as well.
And as the Danger Thunder player, you have to be thinking, okay, what are his other sets? Because obviously you know one's a Roar, that you know they play 1 Rage typically, and then it depends on the kind of variant. Like he could have a Circle set back there, he could have an Artifact Sanctum, which he would have already procced if the Colossus, I mean, he you already went into Colossus, so I figured he would have already shotgun Sanctum. So I think you can rule that out at this point.
Yeah, I'm like thinking, well, a lot of them do main deck like Call by the Grave, and I'm really afraid of Call by the Grave right now because that's gonna eat up my Grave resource, and on top of that, turn off my effects.
Right.
So I got my Thunder Dragon Roar ashed right now. So that really got it.
That's really rough. Yeah, getting Roar ashed is like one of like the key points before your graveyard gets set up that you can actually slow the deck down if you haven't like gone off completely yet.
At this point, I'm trying to really just grind it out, just get the monsters into the graveyard for the Levianeer. It's proving to be a bit more difficult, just because now things are like getting banished for cost, and I'm still really afraid of what's going on. Now I do have like the White Dragon. I can go into White Dragon into anything else. Now I'm going to Battle Phase at this point, and in Battle Phase I get Impermanenced.
Ooh, okay.
And he's turning off my Thunder Dragon Colossus.
Interesting. And then that makes sense.
The double pop, and that eats up my Battle Phase right there. So the amount of back row that he has right here, but it did load up my graveyard for additional pop. But I still realize that at this point the Roar is still intact.
And that's pretty rough, because we know your hand at this point is double Thunder Dragon. We obviously know you have a Levianeer, and it looks like I believe you have a Hawk and a Dark, I believe?
I do not have a Hawk. I did not get a Hawk. I have a Dark in hand that I probably should have activated the turn before.
Oh, it's a Collapse Serpent. That was your other card.
Yeah, okay. Collapse Serpent is the one card that I already used. So I used both white and Black Dragon. And
yeah, and this is rough because now you can't Levianeer because he can just roar it instantly. Yeah, and the sad part about Levianeer is that I can't put him in defense mode. He'll get crushed right away. So this game seems like it's over already before a single damage has been dealt. Impermanence plus Rage is pretty strong though. That was a good combo. That was a very solid play, just baiting out the Battle Phase entirely. That, I don't know what else I could say. It was just unfortunate. You just needed like one danger monster. Yeah, I need to kind of get this hand going. Yeah, that was unfortunate. However, it is part of the game. You can't expect that every game is going to be perfect. You know what? I'm just going to like play it out. I'm like, do I want to activate my effect? I'm like, nah, I shouldn't activate the effect. And if I activate it, it's instantly dead, and I know that I'm going to die because he has more than enough bodies to actually just bury me down to the ground. Sure. No. And you're in such a rough situation at that point because it's unwinnable because he can just get rid of it easily, and then he just kills you on the next turn. Yeah, because he does still have the Gazelles. I enter Scoop Phase, and that is basically game one. Tom Box takes an L. Well, at least you get to go first now, and you've side decked, so. Yes, side deck is now in, and I just want to go off. You know, the combo is pretty simple. Now I can play a gassy hand. I actually debated whether or not I wanted like a full set of normal summons. So I decided a couple of normal summons. I put in a DD Crow. I did draw into the DD Crow, and I went into Battering Man Solar. This is perfect. Battering Man Solar is one of the best opening plays, probably one of the plays that people should interrupt the most because it takes away the Thunder Dragon Roar out of the deck and puts it as a full setup. And I have the White Dragon to go with it. Sure. And then also DD Crow also has nice synergy with this deck just because it also happens to be a dark, so that's just random for like Levianeer and stuff too, which is kind of cute. That is true. So I went ahead and got myself the combo play. We're gonna poop out a Kaiba token. That's like the most convenient place to put a token, so you don't have to go look. Yeah, that is actually. I never thought about that. So I usually just hide it under my field center. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of these two. I think we're gonna go with the full double Colossus play with the double negate. That's only. I've heard that some players are actually going back to the pure Thunder build for Salamangreat because establishing like double Colossus Titan or even triple Colossus is really good because they're so hindered by not being able to search, and then Titan is actually really problematic for them to deal with. And there's the Droll. Yeah, that Droll threw me off my game here slightly. Well, that's like one of the few hand traps that actually does something against you. Yeah, that's true. Like, the thing is, having Droll when they have a lot of danger feels really good, but then it's like, if you Droll them when they have just like a pure thundery hand, it feels a little lacklustery. But being able to like block me from getting access is pretty good. Right. It's not going to completely stop you. Like, you can still do some things, but it's going to prevent you from going just completely off with whatever you have at your disposal. That is true. Okay, well, we're going to take away... Well, we converted the Battering Man Solar into a dinosaur, and of course, Summon Sork is going to come out.
This is the part that gets kind of iffy. Now, with the complete lockdown, there's no point going to the Eclipse Wyvern anymore. If you go into the Eclipse Wyvern, it's a bit of a waste, in my opinion.
Of course, yeah, I think so.
I think perhaps a better option at this point might be just straight up just spitting out the Diablos onto the other side, so that if it tribute, it can come back out.
Not to mention, you could possibly rip another card out of his hand because he's already down one because he drolled you.
That is true.
There is also that interaction potentially.
But, you know,
as well.
I'm a scrub, so I actually still go with the Eclipse Wyvern play. I can't get access to it. You can't have Black Dragon. In fact, I think Cimo's right here. Going for the Diablos is probably a better play because you can just like throw it into the graveyard and then tribute a Thunder Dragon. I have the Thunder Dragon Hawk engrave already. I mean, in my hand. But we'll see what happens. We'll see where this play takes us.
I'm really curious to see what you end on here.
Like,
we see a Pankratops in the player's hand, in Vince's hand.
Yeah, Vince has a Pankratops. Pankratops is actually one of the most ideal cards to actually break that double negate board because the Pankratops can't be stopped by either of the Hot Red Dragon, nor can it be stopped by Zombie Stein.
Absolutely, and going back to what I was saying about like the Pure Thunder build, double Colossus and Titan or triple Colossus, like Pankratops does nothing against that board theoretically.
That is true.
So yeah, it's another thing.
Oh, we gotta go into the Hawk.
I always love with Pankratops. It's like the only card that's so good, but you can't play it in the main deck.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Unless you're like pure going second build. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like going first is still too much advantage. I'm never like gonna jump on the bandwagon. Oh man, going second build, just main deck those evenly matches.
Going second formats are so rare now, but I mean we've had them in the past, so it can happen. Yeah. So you're gonna go into Colossus here.
That was a funny one.
Oh man.
So yeah, we got
Spiral.
Yeah, Spiral
format.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. So I think I'm just gonna sit on this weak board. Why am I leaving that Wyvern Buster? Oh, so that's Wyvern Buster. It's because I can search the Collapse Serpent and then I'll get the Chaos Dragon anyway. So even if he tries to break this board, it's gonna be a bit more difficult. And the Colossus sitting there, it's a pretty hard thing to answer for Salamangreat. They already struggle with big bodies, like anything over 2,000 attack or 2,000 defense. It's like they have to go into their late game monsters to actually take them out.
Right. Now, the only thing is here, he could still potentially do a Mirage Stallion play and just bounce it. And that's like the only concerning thing about just ending on one.
Yeah.
That's assuming they open a hand decent enough that they can do that without using Colossus, to be fair.
I see that in Vince's hand, there is a copy of Salamangreat's Circle, which is completely dead right now. But he does have Foolish Barrow, which is kind of like another Circle.
Yes. And it bypasses Colossus in this instance, so it's actually pretty good. He also opened Gazelle, I saw as well, so he has access to the Gazelle Spinny play, which is pretty much going to allow him to get to what he needs. He's going to normal the Foxy, though. Oh, yeah, that's true. You don't have to use the Gazelle here.
He can save it.
I didn't realize he had Foxy, so yeah, that's better. Ooh, with the Crow, like we talked about.
So he activates, and there goes the Spinny. And Spinny's activation is once per turn, so I don't have to worry about a Spinny at all.
To be perfectly fair, if I were playing Salamangreat against you, I wouldn't expect for you to be playing DD Crow.
That's my side. That's my tech. I've actually enjoyed DD Crow quite a bit, but there has been a debate of what you should be DD Crowing. They say hit the Jaguar instead of the Spinny.
See, yeah, I would say it kind of just depends on the circumstances. I would say, because like Spinny, as you can see right there, it kind of just, it can really just halt their turn significantly.
That's true.
But at the same time, like Jaguar with the recursion is really strong. You can even arguably hit the counter trap if you really don't want to deal with it, because ultimately if they end on a board and they don't have the counter trap, what did they really accomplish?
That's true. They just have an extra hit from the Balinks and that's about it.
Right, so you can pretty much do your entire turn completely uncontested if you go that route. So there's a lot of different routes you can take DD Crow, which I think it's nice it has the flexibility of not just only hitting a single card.
That is true. Like you're not locked into like a single type.
Right, and it's not once per turn. So if you open multiple Crows, you could like crow the you can crow the Spinny, you can crow just everything.
Those are the most ideal hands when going second.
Yeah, remember when hand traps didn't used to be once per turn?
Oh, those are the days. Oh man, I miss those days. So we got, oh, there's the Pankratops.
There's the Pankratops.
Oh, that's right.
Also getting the 300 boost from Saryuja, which is significant.
Which can run over the Saryuja now.
Yes.
That's an extra body down on the count for me. But yeah,
such a good card.
I love it here because Cimo's here breaking down the plays. If you guys are going to a regionals this coming weekend, this is probably something that you want to be aware of.
These are two decks that you're probably going to play the most if your regionals is any bit competitive. And if you're planning on winning, you're going to play two of these decks for sure.
That's true. So Pancratops goes for the swing. I take 100 damage because he's now to 29 Pancratops.
Gains.
Wow.
That's a swole Pancratops.
Yeah, he did CrossFit.
So what's interesting here is that did he use the effect of Foxy by chance?
He did not, but the problem right now is that he does not have the field spell. There's no spells on the field, he can't use Foxy.
Well, so... Oh, that's right, there's no face-up spell or trap, you're correct.
That's why he's locked in. That's why the Colossus actually mattered, because when he went into his Banelinks without the field spell search, the Foxy lost value.
Sure. And I'm assuming you DD crowed Spinny on the activation.
Yes.
Okay,
on
just double check.
He threw it.
Okay, because sometimes if you like shotgun it, Gazelle could have sent another Spinny if it wasn't
true.
Activated.
That would have been a very awful misplay.
Right, exactly. So that's why you want to wait to make sure they use that activation, since it is a hard once per turn.
Yeah, that's keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah, it's the little plays. Sometimes people get anxious and they just shotgun and like me. I've seen people do it before. It's, you know, sometimes nerves just get the better of you. So.
That is true. Unless your hand trap is like a Lancey or something that you just want to cripple someone's turn with, like things that have a blanketing, lingering effect. Yeah, those ones you can shotgun. But for the ones that you have specific targets for, maybe you should wait. So it's my turn now. I drew into Chaos Dragon Levianeer, which is going to, I believe, just kill him now. Because this is the most amazing chain block I've ever seen. A 4-card chain. He just scoops it up.
Not to mention, you also had a Phantom Skyblaster in hand, so that should have been over.
Yeah, that was over. Look at the Chaos Dragon adding another Chaos Dragon, but then you have a 4-chain block completely just sealing the deal.
Yeah.
So, there was no contest. The first one's
I mean, he could have had a Veiler, to be fair.
Yeah, he could have had a Veiler, but I don't think he can survive.
You still would have killed him, but yeah. All right, so Salamangreats circle in the draw phase, I presume, here.
Yes, definitely the draw phase. Don't get drolled.
Yes, that's exactly why people do it in the draw phase, in case you never knew that.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that you couldn't activate any cards in the draw phase, which is, like, absolutely not true.
That's pretty odd, yeah. But he opened, you know, Spinny Gazelle, so that's pretty good.
I would like to see this one. This one, oh my god, my hand is too Sekka's light.
Now, do you side Denko Sekka going second?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So that's, I mean, obviously I don't see it in your hand here, but that's a good side card just to pretty much shut down all their cards immediately that they're going to set. Like in that game 1, that would have been good.
Yeah, in the game 1, it would have been awesome.
But of course, you're not going to, most people aren't going to main deck Denko Sekka. I mean, it's for the most part relegated to the side deck.
That is true. It's like the deck, like right now, when it comes to deck building, people seem to just count like how many normal summons you have in your deck. And you know, it's actually a great angle to tackle on like a really combo oriented deck. You don't want too many normal summons, because if you have too many normals, you don't have your engine. Absolutely.
One thing actually too, now that we see Jack Jaguar, and we talked about DD Crow earlier, I've actually seen some players start playing 2 Jack Jaguar to dodge the DD Crow crippling blow if you only play 1. Which is a very, because it's only 1 extra card in your deck, and you're guaranteeing that you're going to have that recursive combo piece. So it's something, you know, if you're playing Salamangreat and you're finding DD Crow to be an issue on your Jack Jaguar, just play 2 Jack Jaguar. It can just completely mitigate the problem.
That is very true, and usually you'll get that Gazelle back, so you'll find some way to actually spin it back into the graveyard. Or if your Mirage Stallion does not die, you just spit him out from the deck again.
Yeah. And Mirage Stallion, there where that Denko would have been good.
Come on, here we go.
Are you gonna draw it?
No.
I feel like Mirage Stallion stays alive though more often than not though.
That is true.
It's
like you don't want to answer. You want to take out the links. It seems like the links are always like the priority because that's what enables the back row.
Well, because Sunlight Wolf especially, it just generates so much value on its own. That's like, I feel, a higher value target. And then it's like if you can also get rid of the Mirage Stallion, that comes next. But I mean,
oh, that was a brutal one right here.
Yeah. All right, so Roar on the Sekka's Light. That's pretty big.
I think it was bigger because one of my cards in my hand is a Sekka's Light, so I might kick down a whole card.
Now, Vince doesn't know that, to be fair.
He does not know that. I'm like, Thunder Dragon Duo, you can go away. I feel like that should have been a side out card if you're going second. It doesn't, it's not like Chaos Dragon Levianeer where it offers a ton of advantage and creates these chain blocks that eventually just completely mitigates out the roar. Yeah, that's the one thing about the Chaos Dragons is that when you banish all of the Thunder Dragons out of the way, they create this chain block where they can't stop the Chaos Dragon from popping your cards.
Yeah, but like at the same time, Sekka's Light is Pot of Greed, so like if they don't negate it, let's say, and you draw into Denko Sekka, like that's just the greatest thing you could possibly draw in this instance, especially.
In that instance, true.
Right. So it's kind of hard to say what's correct. All right, Jackalope.
Jackalope. Oh, he's gonna go with the die roll.
We have a quick draw, Vince.
Oh, he ditched it. This is like the worst card to ditch. Like, that's the one card you don't want to throw away, ever. So, Jackalope and draw. And Nessie? Nope.
Call by the Grave on the Nessie.
That was rough. That was very rough.
Now, you still have your normal summon.
No, I'm looking at my hand. My hand is amazing. If I can just get that normal summon to go through, I think I can take this one.
Well, you know that Roar is gone, so that's good.
Yeah, no, and Roar is once per turn, so if someone plays 2 copies, it's not a really big issue. I'm actually just using Pancradon to take out a back row now.
What were you trying to hit with this? Just out of curiosity. That's a good hit. Oh, the second call by the Grave.
Yeah, that was, I was like, you know what? I can handle probably 1 negation. But then he actually took it away, and now that's a problem.
And it was an impermanence. Oh, no.
So now my dragon is useless.
Yeah.
Well, it's not completely useless, but it definitely prevented me from just completely OTKing him in that one turn.
Absolutely, yeah. That was actually a very pivotal moment there.
I was like, if it wasn't for impermanence, the game was in the bag.
Yeah, like, or to be fair, or if that wasn't a call by the Grave.
Yeah, if it wasn't called by the Grave, then yeah, I would have been like super happy. Like, I just show him the card, like, yeah, you dodged a bullet. I showed him 1 card, he shows me 1 card later.
This is where you surprise him and go into the Mermaid Orchist OTK.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go into Cerberus and
Mermaid.
And Boral Sword's gonna kill you now.
Yeah, if my opponent did that to me playing Danger Thunder, I would I would definitely, they would earn that one.
I'd be like, wow, you play it. What is in your extra deck to fit all these monsters?
I don't know how you would accommodate that many cards. So I'm curious what you're gonna do. I'm guessing you're gonna.
This is gonna be a bit different. This is completely out of line now because you're literally playing with like an empty gas tank now.
Right.
And we're gonna go into. There's nothing to really pop, and I don't really want to ditch my hand because the White Dragon's still useful. I'm gonna go into what's his face, Ripodocus. Or Ripodocus, and we're gonna go ahead and summon some dragons. Okay, so White Dragon is on board. And
it's also good to note too that that Vince also made of second Balinks on his end boards to ensure that his Salamangreat Roar wouldn't get like stopped if like say something happened to Wolf, for instance,
like a Kaiju or something.
Right, because some players
Kaiju counter.
Absolutely, because some players will only make the Wolf and nothing else, so making that second Balinks is very important to make sure your counter trap can resolve. It stops Kaiju, stop like any sort of disruption, and then you don't have to waste Roar on something that might get baited.
That is true. So now I'm gonna go ahead and use White Dragon to get Black Dragon. See, there were plays, even though my hand was completely crippled. It was I'm still kind of playing on fumes. I'm not gonna lie. It's like when your plays are completely countered and your line of play is basically, you know, it's gonna fall short, and making subpar plays isn't exactly in my dictionary. Forced to make a subpar play, I'm obviously gonna make the most subpar of subpar plays.
But you know, when you're in a situation like this, you have to make the best with what you have, and sometimes that requires a little bit of like impromptu finessing, let's say. That is true. To just kind of make it work.
See, this is the part where I don't get why I didn't do this. See, I could have done something here that's a little bit different. Instead of going to the Eclipse Wyvern, again, just go straight for the Diablos if you're stuck.
That's what I was thinking, and then you could have just attacked over. Pretty much. I mean, he has 1 Balinks Engrave, but
well,
you could have.
I can't attack over. Summon Sword only puts in defense mode.
Oh, that's right. It does.
I was just gonna use it as a wall. It is negated, so you can still target it, and that's a problem. But I think I went with a greedier play. Yeah, definitely going with a greedier play, which is Interesting. Okay, we go into
Saryuja again. You did this the first game too, by the way.
I did this the first game, but it's gonna end a little bit differently. I'm gonna go ahead and link that off now. So the Guard Dragon package now.
Oh, okay. This is an interesting line. I think this is fine.
So I guess if you don't have the most optimal hand, you could still try to at least make or break something. I think it's a bit unfortunate that everything kind of got a bit shut down. Now I'm choosing to go whether or not to go into Phantasme, or maybe I could go into Diablos. What do you think?
It's just so rough. It puts you in this like no-win situation because it's like you have to clear Mirage Stallion, otherwise it's gonna bounce like whatever if he gets linked off. But then Sunlight Wolf's gonna generate a ton of advantage, and it's like with the board you have, it's so hard to like deal with both. Not to mention, you know, he's just like it's rough.
It is very rough, and I actually find it to be a huge struggle. Like, you know, when you are forced to go into a battle phase and you just can't break the entire board, and you know there's gonna be some sort of retaliation, that feeling.
Yeah,
it's like all too common. Like it's
like it's like you're trying to make something happen, but you know it's just like futile at that point.
And like another problem is I'm really afraid of that fusion of fire, and I'm boosting my own monsters with this Saryuja.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, it's one of the things you're already enabling, like Violet if you leave that there. But again, when you get into these situations where your play gets stopped by you know, something like double Called by the Grave, Infinite Impermanence, you have to try to push through it and make the best of it, because sometimes you can actually like make a difference, and that might win you the game if you make, even if it's not the correct play by any stretch. Sometimes if you just push through, it can happen. It can actually work.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best here. See, I should have probably went into the other dude, the Diablos, because I thought about it. I have two of my boys already kind of pumped up, and I kind of want to keep the Sekka's Light if I do live, because Sekka's Light is great if I survive. I mean, I'll start with a 3-card hand the turn after if I can survive it. So I decided to link these guys off. Now I am locked into dragon summoning only, and luckily for me, Agripane is a dragon, and now I have 2 arrows available, which gives me access to Hot Red Dragon. I think Crystal Wing probably would have been the better choice, because it can negate the monster effects, and that's what I'm really afraid of now, because if you negate monster effects, I don't really have anything to worry about. And I only went into the Phantasme, really just pulling out of my ass here. Like, I went to the Phantasme because I thought I would need to deal with the Mirage Stallion, but I already killed it. So, kind of a bit of a waste in that regard. But the problem right now, I still have the LP with a 300 boost, and it is Vince's, holy crap, really good top deck, if you guys...
There's the Fusion of Fire. Now he doesn't have to search it. Man, yeah, it's like, I don't know, you're just stuck between a rock and a hard place here. And it's like, the other thing is too, like, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend is usually what people would swap out for Crystal Wing, unless they decide to play both, which can happen, but usually it's one or the other. It's really hard to find space in that extra deck. I mean, you can cut a Thunder Dragon Colossus if you don't want to make the Zombie Stein. Sure, that's fair. And one thing, one minor thing here is you could have, used the LP to attack into the Balinx just so he doesn't automatically go into Heat Leo here. Oh, that is true, man. That is I think that is a potential misplay there. I think I thought a bit too far in that regard. Like, oh man, if he has a Balinx, I just got rid of a Balinx. I don't want to put another Balinx in the graveyard, but then of course he can just put it in himself. So I scrubbed out right there. I mean, the thing is, though, he has Gazelle because he recurred it from his combo. So, I mean, the thing is, at least he has to commit an additional resource rather than just getting to go into Heat Leo for free. Not to mention he already has Sanctuary, so he can automatically reincarnate Link Summon it. Yeah. But, I don't know, just kind of looking at the board, it's kind of already rough for you regardless. So, I mean, again, it's the little things that, sometimes it can make a difference if your opponent doesn't have the follow-up. If all they had was, say, Gazelle, you could have used, Hot Red to negate Gazelle, and then, that's kind of, okay. Because then they can't dump Fusion of Fire. So, I don't know. Sometimes those things matter. Yeah, but in this case, he's not making any Fusion of Fire play. It's pretty easy read that, hey, he probably already has it in his hand, because that's the most obvious way to kill me. It takes very little effort to go into that play and kill someone. And if he's playing around it entirely, well, you can basically say, hey, you're basically dead already at this point. But, well, I mean, he does have to bait out the Hot Red. I mean, keep that in mind. So it's true. Yeah, because I mean, I can negate the Fusion of Fire if he had no other way to stop it. So
But some people are like, oh, why don't you just go into a Boro load? Well, if you go into a Boro load, you lose it because they're gonna Fusion of Fire it away.
Right, exactly. And that's Fusion of Fire. The fact that it uses cards from both players' fields like Super Poly is just insane.
So right now, I was forced into negating the... Sorry, I'm already dead. Like, basically, I was forced to negate his card, and that's the unfortunate part. Because, like, the reason why I went to the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend is so that I can negate the Fusion of Fire, but it doesn't seem like I can actually get there. I'm basically going to die very soon.
Yeah, this is inevitable at this point. But it's okay though. I mean, I think one of the highlights that we can take away from this game is that there's some pretty good back and forth in this match, and I think that's very emblematic of how the format is shaping up in general. And I think people are kind of happy with that the game isn't just over on turn 1 because you lost the die roll or because you didn't open a hand trap.
That is true. I like these more control-y type games where you're not just buried in advantage, you're just buried completely locked out like old school Thunder Dragon. Hey, I make a board, you lose. Yeah. like
obviously Danger Thunder is still capable of doing producing boards like that, but the thing is it's not completely unwinnable. Like, you know, there's actually still ways to play through it.
Yep, and Pancratops, you can get your Pancratops to extend through it, or maybe you have counter traps to break through that as well. It leads up to it, and right now traps are back in style, I have to say.
Yeah.
Like last few formats, traps were just completely just not there. They were irrelevant for the most case. Maybe there's like a strike or two. Yeah, I completely just scooped that game. It's over at that point. he flashed a card to me and I'm like, yeah, I scoop.
So yeah, I had Fusion Fire the whole time.
So game 1, there was just too much negation. There was just no way I can break through that board. Game 2, Aditi crowed his card to cripple his turn to turn it into an OTK because I also had the Levianeer. Levianeer is just an amazing card. The 4-card chain. And then game 3, Impermanence blocked out my Batteryman Solar, which made me kind of just pull a play out of my ass.
That was rough.
But combo block, Fusion of Fire already in hand. I get completely crippled out. So Vince takes the match. Salamangreats. Saladman takes it. Man, I need Red Reboot. Red Reboot's a good card. Denkosek is a really good card as well. And
yeah, like Red Reboot's actually pretty good against Salamangreat because you can stop Roar, you can stop the Rage. If they're playing Sanctum, it's one of the only ways to actually stop a Sanctum. Going second, like that's really good. I mean, yeah, you can push through it with Thunder Dragon, but
leave it to Cimo to give you guys solid advice. I mean, this guy, he's always near the top tables, or no, maybe he is at the top table, so I definitely take his advice for sure. Well, that's all I got for you guys. If you guys like this video, if you guys like Cimo joining me in on the commentary, well, you guys requested him, you guys got him. Well, smash that like button, and don't forget to jump over to his channel. Tombox activates the subscription card once per turn. Subscribe to Cimo. Get enthusiastic videos in your video feed. He's up there for a reason, guys. You know he's one of the best ones out there. And don't forget to activate your subscription card to Tombox and resolve the notification bell. And that's all I got for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this, well, what do you got to say, Cimo?
I like all the Yu-Gi-Oh metaphors there. That's pretty good. Yeah. But thanks for having me, Tom.
Guy doing all this ruling text. Learn your problem-solving card text. It will save you in a lot of these matches.
Well, in that case, it's time to go to the end phase.
That is true. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Take care.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.